Hi there, Mai. Let me start by saying thank you for returning. Your presence here means so much to the museum. It occurs to me that a couple of episodes ago, I was asked what this adventure was called. It is known as the Tortured Land, created by Paul Bimler. It is available from the Dungeon Masters Guild, a small guild out in the infinite ocean that distributes such stories and resources to those who wish to master their dungeons. With that out of the way, let us continue with the story. Last week, our adventurer, Diocrus, had just slain 3 heavily armored, undead bannermen, and proceeded into the room beyond. There, he was greeted by the Lord of the Forsaken Castle, Agnom Wintersong. Finding some common ground in their adventuring pasts, Agnom offers the following riddle. Dust of the water, light of weight am I, dripping in the sun, but in the cold am dry. Rivers make, though first upon the ground I lie. Answer swiftly, and perhaps you shall not die. Answering correctly with snow as the answer, Diocrus is allowed to leave with his life, so long as he doesn't dawdle. And he decides that this is sound advice, leaving swiftly. Traveling for another hour or so, Diocrus makes it to the entrance of Poison Pass, where he makes camp and recovers after his long day. The next day, he begins his traversal of the pass. Along the way, he is snared by a rope trap, encounters an illusionary rock slide, and further along the pass is ambushed by 2 orcs, one in peak health, the other looking rather diseased. And that is where we shall continue from today, on this, the 4th installment of Tales from the Adventurers Guild. Now, 189 was where I had finished, which was the combat. Yes, and then 2. There we are. And we'll change this back to display. There we go. Excellent. So, where is our map? The Tortured Land maps. There we go. Bring that down here. There we are. So, we have 2 options. A more northern pass or south, which looks rather narrow. Perhaps narrow would be a better idea. Okay, you're gonna stay there. There we go. So, we will take the narrower path, perhaps more places to avoid attacks from. So that is 364. Here. Come on. Wow. Well done. Here we are. 300 and 62, 3, 4. There we go. You move quickly through this part of the pass, wondering what other hazards these orcs will throw at you before you reach the end. And then you see it. Ahead, a few hundred yards away, the tight, narrow ravine opens up, and an icy plain lies beyond. Your heart lifts, and you break into a run. There is a guttural cry from above, and you look up to see about a dozen orcs on the ridge above. There is a shouted command, and then each lifts a rock above his head, preparing to hurl the crude missiles at you. You will have to run hard to get through this last bit of the ravine. Athletics or acrobatics, so that will of course be acrobatics. Either dodge the rocks as they come or run for all your worth. Okay, so let us roll an acrobatics. Oh, I have the dice there from last time. So yes, and that is a 12 on the dice. With a +6, that is an 18. That is most certainly successful. 169. Yes. There we go. Where are we there? Avoiding the rocks, you sprint hard and eventually reach the end of the ravine. Cries of orcish frustration echo in the pass behind you, and you cannot help but smile with satisfaction. You have survived the perils of Poison Pass. Not many can claim that. Catching your breath, you survey the icy steppe that spreads out before you. Before I forget, you will have either now or then taken a short rest, used some of his focus points to heal after recovering from the poison of the last combat, and so he will be at full fighting strength. Ahead, you see several more miles of steppe before another range of mountains, and there, in the far distance, you fancy you can make out a stronghold of some sort, perched atop a rocky peak. Something tells you that you must head there, that whatever you find there will be the answer to the quest which Remigius gave you. For there is nothing else out here on this barren waste known as the Tortured Land. Only white, featureless plains and jagged peaks. Looking west, you think to yourself that the north side of the pass of Oral must not be too far away, and you wonder if that route would have proved to be a safer path. Will you head straight north from here, or head west towards the north end of the pass of Oral? I think north straight. Oh dear. One moment. There we go. That color suits much better. So, I think heading straight north from here is, we don't want to dawdle too long in the frozen wastelands of the tortured land. So we will head straight north to 294. You strike out, heading down against a chill wind which is whipping down from the rocky peaks to the north. Walking for several hours across a featureless tundra, you glance up every now and then and behold the stronghold, perched high on a rocky mountain, set inside a valley of similar inhospitable peaks. Whoever lives there does not like company, that much is clear. After walking for about 2 hours straight, you come to a canyon, a deep gash in the earth that runs east to west across your path. The only way across is a rope bridge, which looks reasonably well constructed. You take a moment or two to survey it closely, as if it can't bear your weight. It would be a long fall to the bottom. So we will make an investigation check to see if it can. Investigation, here we go. Not entirely terrible investigation for myself, however, the dice, if we go over to that, are not in my favor. That is a 6 on the dice, and investigation is +1, so that is only a 7, unfortunately. So with that unsuccessful check, we will go to 161. You look the bridge over, but it appears fairly sound from where you are standing. Seeing no other option, you gingerly place your first step on the bridge and test your weight. The wooden boards hold you up, and so you cautiously proceed across. Carefully, you make your way across, testing each board before you place your full weight on it, inching further along to the other side. You happen to glance down at one point. The canyon floor is over 200 feet below, and you start to feel dizzy. That's a long way down. Looking back up, you focus on getting across safely. Well, I wasn't asked to make a visual check, only an investigation, so I will make a visual check now in retroactively, that is the word. Retroactively make a perception check. And that is a 13 on the dice for a total of perception, we say 17. I'm going to say that that is a success. DC appears to be 15 usually. 297. Knowing where the weak points are in the bridge, you successfully avoid these, stepping over the rotting boards and being especially light-footed as you pass this section of the bridge where the rope has worn thin. A little while later, you are safe and sound on the other side of the canyon. Safely on the far side of the canyon, you turn your attention to the trail ahead. Setting out once more, you are nearing the beginning of the valley in which the stronghold is situated, perched high on a mountainside in the hazy distance. You walk for a good while longer. Eventually, you see a small copse of trees ahead. There seems to be a frozen river running through this glade of fir trees, and you edge cautiously ahead, scanning the landscape and sniffing the air for evidence of habitation. Survival or perception, you say? Well, they are both +4, so either will do. Let's go over to what is currently the dice camera. For some reason, I find it helpful to roll multiple dice when I'm only rolling for one. Don't know why, maybe that's just superstition. But it works. We have 17 plus 4, so that is 21. And the DC is 14. So we go to 134. You catch a hint of a scent on the air, which has a distinctly canine aroma to it. There is something dog-like ahead. Gnolls, perhaps? Whatever they are, you cannot currently see them. But if they are gnolls, you realize there is a chance they could have the staff, Frostbringer, in their possession. 185. You make your way into the copse of trees and see a frozen river ahead, bisecting the route north. You realize you will have to cross this to continue your trek north towards the mountain stronghold. Cautiously, you set foot on the ice and move forward. Go to 22 because we are on alert. It doesn't take you long to spot movement. Off to your left, 2 gnolls, attempting to catch you by surprise, are advancing with longbows. Before you is a frozen river, and to your right is an area of rocky boulders. You will need to move quickly, or stand your ground and do battle. So, let's reduce this again. So that we can see the map. This is probably a good map. Let's just see where is that one. There are so many maps, and not all of them have labels. That is annoying. Perhaps that is the map I wish. Yes. That looks like it. If I zoom out, yes. There we go. Okay. So, This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so a little bit wider. And this will suffice. As we go there. And an entrance of 3. Yeah. Somewhere about there. And somewhere about there. So we are standing about here. Excellent. And we have 2 gnolls coming towards us from here. They're visually in range there. That will suffice. So, Diocris has been doing well on fighting recently, so he will continue to attack. So myself, Gnoll 1, the red head, and the blue head. Excellent. So we have 9, 6, and 4. Cool. So it's me, blue gnoll, and red gnoll. Excellent. This is Gnoll Frozen River. 2 gnolls. They have 22 hit points. Okay, so there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 40 feet. 7, 8. You know what? That is perfect. Let's actually say that they are there. And would you believe, as a monk, I have 40 feet of movement. So I will close the gap, or Diocris will close the gap to that first gnoll. Let's, you know what? Let's move everyone up slightly. There we are, so that you can see them all. Now, we will take an attack, 2 attacks, and an unarmed strike for the finish. There we are. So, we have a natural 20. Excellent. An 11 and a 9, so a 15, which I believe will hit. So all 3 will hit. Excellent. So we'll take those dice. And we will take those dice. So the first one, first attack is 6 and 6, 12 damage. This is on redhead. The Nick is the natural 20, so that is 5 and 6. So that is 11, and that is the gnoll completely taken out. Well, that is Unfortunate, because that was 40 feet of movement to get up to him. 40, yes. I can only reach the front one, so that will have to... Diacrys will take the dodge action as his bonus action, as that will hopefully remove some attacks. It is now the Gnoll's turn. And they will use, what have they got? 1d4, 1d6. Okay, spear it is. It's 1d8 if they're using it with two hands, so he will. That means that the Gnoll will come up here and try to block an escape. He will have disadvantage to hit though, so that is good. This is the blue-haired one. And it is a d8. Lovely. 8-sided dice. Blue one. There we go. So, this is a +4 to hit. And that is only a 12, so that will be a miss. Does he have 2 attacks? This is a creature. No. Nope. Okay. Excellent. It is now Diacrys's turn again. So he will also move around in preparation to leave and do his 3 attacks. That one. There we go. Really need to get a dice tower. That will make this so much easier. And that is another natural 20. Those are almost the same dice. Okay. So, that is 12 and 5 on the neck. And oh, whoops, wrong one. 5 on the neck, plus another 4, that's 9. So 12 and 9 is 21. So he only just survives on the dagger attack. However, with 6 damage on the dice for the unarmed strike, that is the second Gnoll dealt with. So with that, there we go. 1 of 4. So, you quickly search the bodies of the dead Gnolls, but find nothing. Certainly not any magical staves. Not wasting any more time here, you refill your water skin and forge northward, drawing ever closer to the valley where the stronghold lies. You enter another patch of wood and are caught off guard when you see an old woman standing before you, bearing a long staff that looks like the staff of a wizard. "Good day, traveler," she says, in a quiet voice, looking you up and down warily. 355. After a long while, the old crone speaks. "Why have you come here?" she asks. "Is it because of my sister?" No. Where's the rest of this? Oh, underneath the picture. You say nothing, unsure of how to answer this. I know what she has done, the woman says. I am Shah Wintersong, Orellana's sister, the mage who lives in her keep, high on the mountain, the stronghold you have no doubt seen. And it can only be for her that you have come. If she is the one who has stolen... Oh, apologies, this is me. If she is the one who has stolen the staff of Frostbringer, you say, then yes, it is her that I have come for. Shah is silent for a long time. Finally, she speaks. Come with me, she says, turning and walking north, beckoning you to follow. Where are we? Here. Shah Wintersong is my true name, the old wizard tells you as you walk. My family once ruled these lands. My father kept the castle south of the mountains where he raised us. Myself, my brother, and my sister, Orellana. She sighs. But not everyone respected my father's rule. When he died, my brother, Agnon, became lord of the keep, and he tried to restore my father's rule through force. He was a cruel man, my brother. And my sister, she became more and more distant, obsessed with the cold goddess, Aurel. I think all those years in the castle drove her insane. But whatever the case, she began to think she was a reincarnation of the Frost Maiden. She spent all her hours in her little shrine, worshipping and learning the dark arts of magic from books that she and Agnon's men bring to her. Both she and I studied magic, under the recommendation of our father, long since dead. And we were both excellent students, learning under the elder master who father had hired for our education. But after father died, Orellana changed, and now she has shut us all out, even me. Shut out the world, locked herself within her castle. Why, you ask? What is she doing in there? Shah is silent for a long while. Finally, she looks towards you. Consolidation of her power, she says quietly. She dreams of reclaiming the rule of my father, which our brother Agnom was not able to preserve. You tell Shah of the staff, Frostbringer, and she doesn't seem surprised. I know of the staff, Shah says. It will increase her power, but the truth is, Orellana is already very powerful. And then Shah's face takes on a drawn, sorrowful expression. And she must be stopped. You walk with Shah for some way north in silence. Both of you stop at the beginning of the valley and gaze up at the stronghold where the ice wizard Orellana has her lair. My sister placed a ward around her keep so that I could not enter. Not ever. She cannot face me. In truth, I think I am dead to her. Certainly, she is no longer the sister I grew up with. She has become twisted, evil, her mind disturbed and consumed with the lust for power. She turns to you, and then, her eyes full of compassion, pleads. Please, she says, I know it is possible, possibly, probably even a lost hope. But if there is any way that she can be saved, defeated but not killed perhaps, there might be a chance I can get through to her. My mission is to retrieve the staff, you tell Shah. I can't promise anything. Shah nods, and tears begin to stream down her face. She looks away for a moment, and then turns back towards you. Reaching into her robe, she takes out something, a small box, intricate in design, and holds it out to you. This is a plaything Father gave her as a child, when she left to come into the land north of the mountains. She left it behind. Perhaps if you get a chance, you could show it to her. It might stir some memory. You open the little box, and inside is a miniature landscape with snow-covered trees, tiny boulders, and a stream. It is an illusion of some kind. As you watch, the scene comes to life and begins to move, and a little girl walks across the snow with a dog. Stooping, the girl picks up a snowflake and holds it in her hand, then blows it into the air. The snowflake grows in size until you can see every detail, and it shimmers with a divine blue radiance. The little scene is entrancing and moving in a way. You look up. Shah is gone. Turning north, you see the imposing keep perched high on the mountainside, and you set out towards it. I might take this opportunity to take a sip of water. That was a lot of talking. I do hope this day is going well for you. If it is Mother's Day when you are watching this, I hope you are enjoying it with those that you love, whether they are with us or not. It is still a special day to remember your mothers. And they can take many forms, of course. Your biological mother is the obvious option. However, even if you have no mother, a woman who has taken you under her wing can be a motherly figure and worth celebrating. That being said, we shall continue now. You make your way up the valley towards the stronghold of the Ice Mage Orellana. You wonder if your approach has been noticed already. There is nowhere really to hide in this open, frigid landscape. But that doesn't deter you from your quest. And soon you reach the foot of the mountain on which the stronghold sits. You begin your ascent, pulling your cloak around yourself tightly as a wind whips around the rocky crags and buttresses of this harsh, inhospitable peak. Soon you are approaching the keep itself. You stop some way off and survey it. You cannot see any sign of movement outside the keep. Two large stone doors stand at the base of the tower. You give the keep a good look over, but can only see one other potential entrance, a tower window high on the keep's right-hand side. I don't think there is any way that Diocris can reach the window, not for several more levels of adventuring yet. So we will go to the front door. Oh dear. You approach the stone doors that stand at the front of the tower, preparing yourself to face an enemy you know to be extremely dangerous. As you near the keep, you are startled to see the doors open, seemingly of its own accord, to reveal a passageway beyond. Pausing, you consider your options. It appears your arrival is expected. Finally weighing things up, you see no option but to proceed inside, and cautiously you do so. As you step inside the entrance, the door slams shut behind you with a mighty boom. Then, lit by an ethereal blue light, you see the passageway ahead, which appears to lead into a large chamber. Suddenly, from out of the shadows, three beings, seemingly composed of ice, but in the shape of goblins, jump out at you and attack with clubs. These guardians of the keep advance quickly. The ice goblin combat sheet. Excellent. So, excellent. So we will begin a battle. Here we are. So we have entered from there. Excellent. Let's remove the previous. There we go. Now, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. There and there. And it goes 2 up, diagonally 2, and then up that way. Okay. And we are there. The door is here. And there and there. Excellent. Now, I do in fact have goblin miniatures. Although one of them looks a bit regal, but oh well. There's 1, 2, and I'm sure I have something adequate. That one will have to do. So, we have 1 here and 2 here. Okay. So, combat shall ensue. I haven't got any dice there. Wonderful. We will have you for that one. Yes. Blue for that one. And I have purple in here somewhere. Purple and yellow will do. So, and myself. I do like these green dice. A friend actually made these for me. Well, not all of these dice. This dice a friend made for me. Very nice set. Combat sheet. Oh dear, these numbers are atrocious. What is that? 9 as well. Okay. All right, so the purple goblin is going first with good, they are very weak. 12. Then, so they have +2, I have +4. So then it is myself and Diagras at, oh wait, no, he's at 13. So Diagras is going first, barely. Then the purple goblin at 12, followed by the other goblin, the yellow goblin, at 11, and bringing up the rear, the blue goblin at 4. They have 7 hit points, so they won't be hard to take out. So, with that, what did I do? Place, come in and attack with clubs. Note the chill breath feat. They will use on the first round and every time they successfully recharge it. Lovely. Bonus action, they can breathe. DC 13 con. Next attack has disadvantage. Excellent. Okay, so don't have pack tactics. Lovely. So Diacrus shall move over to this one and around behind it, trying to get as much distance as possible, though that won't be necessary. Apologies, there are a couple of nasty little flies that have decided I smell absolutely wonderful. I do, of course, but I shouldn't have flies. Anyhow, and we will make 5, 10, 15. Oh yes, easily. 20, 25, 30, 35. Easily make it there and back if I kill him. So, first attack. Let's take these dice away. And whoops. And that is a natural 20. Excellent. Allow me one moment to go and retrieve that dice. I will return. There we are. I really do need a dice tray. That would help immensely, but I'm not a dice tray, a dice tower. I will eventually get there. The artificers are working very hard to make everything. At the moment, they are down by the head with miniatures that have been requested by other parties, but they will get on to things like dice towers for myself and better terrain, more interactive and interesting terrain. Until such time, we will unfortunately have to use this board here. Anyhow, natural 20 on the first attack with the dagger, and that is 8 and 6. That is more than enough to kill that one. And with that, run up to the purple one, and we will attack that. That is a 15, which I believe will hit. Only just, their armor class is 15, so there we go. That is 4 damage. No modification to that because it is a nick. Yellow is gone. 4 damage to that one. It is now that one's turn, so it will proceed to attack with its club. 1d6, I believe. Yes, 1d6, and then the other thing. However, that is a 2 to hit, so that won't hit. In saying that, it will then blast an icy cone from its mouth as its bonus action, and Diacrys shall make a Constitution saving throw. That is another natural 20, so that is most assuredly a success, though I doubt it would be too much of an issue with these creatures if he had some a disadvantage to hit them. Now it is the blue one's turn, so it will do the same thing. And it will do the exact same thing. It will miss again with a 4 on the dice, but another Constitution saving throw. That is a 9 on the dice for a total of 13, I believe. That is the DC, so that is just pass. Diacrys is rolling really well today. Wonderful. So with that, it is his turn. First attack is going on the blue one that hasn't been attacked yet, as it will do significant damage. The nick will then go to the other one. And the first one will hit. I believe their AC is quite high at 15. So that is going to hit. The other is an 11, so that will miss. That is 9 damage on the first attack, though, so that is enough to take out the blue goblin. And bonus action, third attack. Hopefully it hits. It does. For 18, and that is 10, so that is the third one taken out. Diacrys is quite skilled in combat at the moment. 274, there we are. And with that, the ice goblins are in pieces. Fragments of their bodies scattered across the stone floor of the keep's entrance hallway. You look down the hallway that appears to lead to a chamber from which blue light is emanating. A soft sound comes to your ears, that of chanting, a mantra of some kind, and you slowly make your way towards it. To your right, you pass a passageway which leads to a stairwell, but your attention is fixed on the chanting from ahead, which is growing louder. You continue up this passageway towards the chamber which lies beyond. What is it there? Your senses primed, you edge slowly up the corridor. Although a voice in your head tells you that your presence here has already been noticed. All along this passageway, large deposits of ice cover areas of the wall and floor, and at times you have to move to the side to get through narrow spaces made by these clusters. Gradually, you edge towards the large chamber that lies to the north. Come, stranger, you hear a voice echo all around you, disembodied and booming, though clearly a female voice. Come and join me in worship of the Frost Maiden. It is impossible to tell where the voice is coming from, but peering up towards the chamber, you now notice a shape, humanoid, at the far side of the chamber. There, kneeling on the floor before an altar, a robed figure has their back to you. Looking past them, you see an idol in the shape of a white female figure, clothed in garments that shimmer like ice. And there, resting upon a wooden stand placed before the idol, you see it, a silver staff, bearing a large bluish sapphire in its head. Frostbringer. Yes, beautiful, isn't it? The voice resounds again. You edge ever closer towards the chamber. I am, with the goddess's grace, now attuned to it. Come, witness what it can do in my hands. We have that, so we go to 38 now. That is not 38. Hold on. 125. What happened here? I swear they're trying to trip me up. Where was I? At least it wasn't too far away. 122. Yes. Ah. There we go. 38. You try to chant the mantra, but something is wrong. You are unable to make a sound. There is some sort of curse on this room, perhaps. Quickly, you ready yourself for whatever the ice witch may throw at you. You open your mouth to address the mage, but suddenly discover you cannot make any sound whatsoever. Yes, Orlana says, now turning to face you, the staff resting in her hands. Apologies, it wasn't her talking. Despite her malice, you are struck by her cold beauty, which seems almost otherworldly. There is a ward on my keep. Only I can speak here. No others have that privilege. And now, I am finally attuned to Frostbringer. Let's see what I can craft from the ice, using its power. Holding the staff before her, you see Oriolana focusing her attention on the gem at its head. Suddenly, the ice that is clustered on the wall begins to crack. You look towards the sound and see small creatures forming themselves from the ice. They drop to the floor and begin grouping themselves around the mage. "Come, brave fool," Oriolana cries triumphantly. "See how you fare against the power of the Frost Maiden." Well, that will suffice for now. I feel like this combat is going to be a good place to continue from, start the next week's adventure with, straight into combat. This is, if you have been watching, pre-recorded, so I am shortening it a little bit so that I may have the two episodes done on one day rather than one episode. So with that, I thank you again for your presence. It is greatly appreciated. And I do hope you will return for this climactic battle. After which, hopefully there will be another story, or at least the continuation of this, as Diacrus returns to the... Apologies, where is he from? The Adventurers Guild. That is what we are talking about here. Anyway, I do so hope you will join me again next week. Until then, thank you and farewell.